North Carolina reinstates a 20-week ban on abortions. A federal judge made the call this afternoon. Good evening, I'm Julie Luck.
And I'm Chad Silver. The ban was decades old, but Roe v. Wade made it unenforceable. For decades, North Carolina abortions were legal up to viability, typically around 24 weeks.
Tonight, that changes. The U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, so that decades-old ban is back on the books. WFMY News 2's Grace Holland got a reaction from both sides of the issue and talked to legal experts about how this ban works.
Let's go over how we got here. This 20-week ban has been on the books since the 1970s, but wasn't enforced due to Roe v. Wade. A 2019 court ruling officially stopped the ban until Roe was overturned. Today, a judge ruled the ban is legal. Planned Parenthood disagrees with the decision. NC Values Coalition is in favor.
So now that Roe versus Wade has been overturned, the basis for the ruling no longer existed, and the judge really had no other choice but to lift the injunction, and we're glad.
Really disappointing ruling from the judge today that was unprompted from any of the parties involved in the lawsuit.
The law bans abortions after the 20th week of pregnancy, except in certain cases. That includes a medical emergency which threatens the life or physical health of the mother. Activist groups on both sides have differing views about whether that exception will provide abortions for women who need life-saving care.
What this means for people in this state is they will now be forced to travel out of North Carolina for time-sensitive, life-saving abortion care.
That should be specific enough for any doctor to save a life if it's needed. Of course, we know that hardly any abortion is necessary after 20 weeks to save the mother's life. Those are just very rare.
The law does say that doctors who provide abortions after 20 weeks could face felony charges. Professor Steve Friedland at Elon Law told me it could carry up to 10 years in prison. Wake Forest University law professor Megan Boone says that could affect care.
It's highly likely that doctors are going to err on the side of not providing care if that care is even potentially criminal. So I think, unfortunately, when it comes to abortion that is performed after 20 weeks, North Carolina is going to be in the position of a lot of other states where doctors are not clear what constitutes sufficient sort of medical necessity to perform an abortion. And I think, unfortunately, women seeking that care are very likely going to have to go out of state to get it.
Boone says it's likely this law is here to stay. The NC Values Coalition says it hopes to see more restrictions on the procedure in our state going forward. Abortions are still legal before 20 weeks of pregnancy in North Carolina. Most abortions happen much earlier than that.